So I know that you've been, trying to end this fight on human trafficking for quite some time. How have things changed? How have things improved?
I think the way things have improved is that there is a lot more public awareness, and I think that there are more groups doing very strong work. I think CAST is really one of the best in the whole world, honestly. I meet with NGOs across the globe, and they're really a best practices organization for people to replicate, for people to get involved with, to support, and that's what this night is about, supporting CAST's work. But the problem is that the crime is growing. There's 30 million people living in slavery across the world today, and only 1% of them currently has a chance of being discovered and rescued. 1%. So those are crazy statistics. It's very disturbing, and I think that consumers need to start asking where their products are coming from to end slavery and supply chains, to really put pressure on the manufacturers, on the large corporations, to take slavery out of their supply chains, to stop going for the lowest bidder in order to make a little bit more of a profit, and that lowest bidder is using slave labor to provide those cheap prices. But it's up to the consumer to demand it at the point of sale, really, to say, I want to know where this is coming from. If we can know whether the berries that we eat are organic, and we can track them all the way to the field that they came from, how can we not know whether the hands that picked them were free? Because, migrant farm workers are another form of labor trafficking in the U.S. and in other countries. But I think there is progress. I think there's a lot of knowledge gained. I think a lot of countries are learning how to use the laws that they have written. There are currently 2 laws in Sacramento coming up for review that would very much help victims of modern-day slavery in the state of California. I'm helping CAST support trying to pass those laws. But we have a long road ahead of us. So it's great to see people out here to support this event.
What can someone like me do to, raise awareness or become involved?
I would go to the CAST website. I would get involved with what CAST is doing. I would get involved in fundraising. I would get involved in what legislation is being passed where you live, whether you live in California, whether you lived in some other state, and then help try and push those things. But as I said, there are ways to also create a ruckus online saying, I demand to know whether the goods I buy are slavery-free. I mean, that really has to become a larger movement. It's starting to roll, and there are a few organizations now that are able to vet where something is from. Something like Good Weave is looking into the creation of fabrics and textiles and rugs, and to see if they're free of child labor, which traditionally rug making is a huge child slave labor industry. Ronnie Hong is also creating something called the Freedom Seal, which will soon be affixed to certain products that have proven that they are made with better than fair trade, and there's no slave labor involved in them. So, it's growing, but you kind of have to start a conversation with it online, on social media, and really try and support local groups that are doing the work, which CAST is really one of the very best.
I saw that you are in Mothers and Daughters.
Yes.
And it's a cast full of women. What was it like working with so many, girl bosses?
Well, gosh, that film, Mothers and Daughters, which, by the way, is the #1 VOD indie in the country this weekend, so it's very exciting, gosh, some of the women are like my idols, like Susan Sarandon, Sharon Stone. These women are like titans of the industry. They're amazing, powerful, incredibly talented women, and people like Selma Blair, who's so incredible in the film. She's really got this wonderful irony and vulnerability. So it was quite terrific, yeah.
Do you have any woman crushes?
I don't know that I have any woman crushes. I think I'm too old to know what that even means, really. But yeah.
It is worth a shot.
Hi, I'm Mira Sorvino, and you're watching Entertainment Scoop.